What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of First Date Unsolved. I apologize for the nasaliness in my voice. I do have a cold. Thankfully, this is a short episode, so you won't have to hear this for too long. It's a short episode, so I'm going to stack it with the episode you probably just heard, Mary Amelia Allen and Linda O'Day. This episode is also about two young women who were murdered. Today we are going to be going over the cases of Samantha Neuwien and Janeal Jones. Both of these ended up being looked at by the FBI, and both of these young women were senselessly murdered, and both murders involved stabbings, which is apparently not a common method for homicides for female victims, which is why the FBI got involved. The FBI was asked to look into these crimes due to the undeniable similarities in both murders and the short period of time in between the two crimes. It was ultimately determined, though, that these instances were separate and that they were not related in any way other than that of those similarities. Both ladies died due to the stab wounds they sustained, and both were killed a few weeks apart. I am going to start by going over Samantha's case because her case happened first chronologically. On the morning of July 12, 2013, Catherine Neuwien arrived at the appliance store that her family owned. Right Way Appliances was located at 306 North Shipley Street, but sadly this business is now closed. When Catherine entered the building, she noticed water leaking from the ceiling. There was so much water that it looked like a hose was running in the office. Catherine's daughter Samantha, a mother of 6, had lived in the apartment above the business her entire life. So Catherine ran up the stairs to let her daughter know that she had left a faucet on somewhere. After knocking on the door and not getting a response, Catherine just let herself in, only to find the apartment in complete disarray. She was quoted as saying that the apartment was torn up. She would find her daughter naked and unconscious lying on the floor. Whoever did this to Sam beat and stabbed her multiple times, leaving her for dead. The initial thought was that Sam was dyeing her hair and slipped and fell, but when Catherine shook her leg in the attempt to wake her, that's when she noticed blood and immediately called 911. Samantha was rushed to Christiana Hospital, where she would lay in a coma for 16 days prior to passing on July 28th. She was just 35 years old. As of an article posted on August 7th, 2013, there were no suspects. Sam's boyfriend at the time was out of town on rehab, so he had a solid alibi and couldn't be accused for the crime. The article from August 7th also provided the information that Sam was several weeks pregnant at the time of her murder. A quote from Samantha's sister Susan says that she was outgoing. She would scream down the street and you would know she was coming. She wasn't embarrassed by anything, and she was too nice to people. Like her boyfriend, Sam also dealt with addiction, and that kept her from raising her children. She wasn't absent from their lives, and she loved her kids, but they grew up with her as more of a big sister than a mom. It's said that when her oldest son graduated on June 1st, just weeks before her murder, it was Sam's proudest day. This is a cold case. I was not able to find any published updates. I was able to find maybe 2 or 3 possible relatives of Sam's online, and one of them even accepted my friend request, but she's not responded to any of my messages regarding an interview. I even tried searching the FBI files on this case via vault.fbi.gov, and I couldn't locate anything there either. So sadly, this is all I have for Samantha. When it comes to Janeal Jones, I was able to locate her obituary, and it provided much more detail than what I was able to scrub up for Samantha. Janeal Jones, aka Fatty, was born on October 1st, 1980 to James E. Neal Jr. and Lovella DeLacy Jones. There is a very short video of Janeal on YouTube, which shows the young woman performing Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day. Again, the clip is very short, but it gives just a glimpse into the kind of person that Jones was. Her obituary states, quote, Janeal's overwhelming love for her family was unparalleled. She went out of her way to make any and everyone feel loved while in her presence. Everyone that knew her could not leave from her without a smile on their face. She went out of her way to make people laugh, end quote. And that kind of attitude has to be the reason there are so many tributes to her life on Facebook and the tribute wall on her obituary page. Here are some of the things that people had to say about her. Janeal was full of love and laughter with a smile that can brighten anyone's day. She moved to Oak Landing, Edgewood, Maryland, and immediately became one of our sisters. Janeal was a happy, loving child. Her smile would light up the room. May she rest in peace. She was such a nice and charming person. Oh man, Fatty, you will be missed by me. Fatty, as some of us knew her, your life was cut too short on this earth and you will be missed. In doing what I do with this podcast, I have looked over many obituaries. I think Janeal's has some of the most tributes I've seen so far. Janeal was born in Wilmington and attended Delaware public schools throughout her childhood. As a teen, she attended Edgewood High School in Edgewood, Maryland, and then would go to attend Keystone School Job Corps in Keystone, Pennsylvania. Her focus at Job Corps was on information technology and early child development. She was described as being adventurous, and she enjoyed playing basketball, styling hair, and was pretty into watching reality shows. If I recall correctly, that's all that was really on TV back then. Jersey Shore was big, Bad Girls Club, and VH1 always had some trash reality show on that you couldn't look away from. So I totally get that. Around 7:30 a.m. on August 8th, 2013, someone was walking down the 600 block of East 14th Street and noticed an unconscious woman lying in an empty lot. This person called 911. When police arrived, they found 33-year-old Janeal dead at the scene. It is speculated that Janeal may have been involved in a fight or an altercation of some kind, and she died as a result of multiple stab wounds. It has been 10 years since both of these women lost their lives, and both of these cases remain unsolved. There has been a Facebook page created called, quote, I, Janeal, aka Fatty, know who killed me, end quote. And the cover photo features both of these women. That is the photo that I am using for the cover art of this episode. The title of the Facebook page insinuates that Janeal knew her killer. It's possible she had issues with another girl or girls because of something silly and petty, so a fight broke out. Maybe she was hanging out with a group and someone got jealous. There are several scenarios that could have taken place here, but sadly, we haven't been able to put the pieces together. I didn't know her personally, but no matter how funny, smart, outgoing, or talented you are, there's bound to be at least a few people that have a problem with you for whatever reason, right? Especially in Wilmington. The Facebook page dedicated to Jones also lists several articles on their timeline related to other unsolved murders in Wilmington. So I will certainly be looking back there for future cases. I don't believe that Janeal and Samantha knew each other while they were alive, but it's hard to read about one story and not hear about the other. Since the two crimes were determined not to be related, the chances of finding the killers for these two women has significantly decreased. I'm generally a glass half full kind of person, and miracles do happen, but it's very discouraging when here we are 10 years later and, there's no, at least reported, suspects. Just like Samantha, I did attempt to contact 3 of Janeal's family members, but didn't get any responses. As always, if you have any information on who may have killed these ladies or any information on who may be involved, please contact the Wilmington Police Confidential Tip Line at 302-576-3990, or you can always contact Crime Stoppers anonymously. Again, I told you this would be short. I'm sorry I don't have more information on these two ladies, but I really did want to cover them and feature them here. If you thought nothing ever happened here, you thought wrong, and thanks for sticking around. Bye, guys.